Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Kicking It with me, Erica Nicolette. Today we're going to change gears. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We are going to talk about the Housewives of Potomac reunion, episode number 7, season 7, episode number 1. I'll get that right in a minute. Okay. So we're just going to jump right in. Welcome, guys. Welcome, brothers and sisters. I'm so happy to have you all. Drop down in the comments. Leave me some comments. Click that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell. All that good stuff. So now that we've done the housekeeping, let's just jump right back in. So the reunion special starts off with Robin and Giselle talking from their podcast, Reasonably Shady, where they're discussing whether or not one had cheated on Robin. And this is when Robin said, he has cheated and there's a girl that's, out there telling her story. And I'll tell you all the details on Patreon. Yeah, behind the paywall. But we're going to get into that a little bit later on. But yes, so that's the recap. That's how it starts off. So, they get us ready. They set the expectation very high. But I can say this episode did not disappoint. It was good. It was really good. So, okay. So now let's just go right back in and let's just change gears. So now they have us all ready to hear more about Juan cheating. And of course, they did not play what was on the Patreon, what they exposed on the paywall. So Andy goes around and he's visiting all of the housewives like he normally does, how he'll go and he'll visit everyone in their dressing room. This episode, it was no different. He went and he visited each one of the housewives and he started with Karen. So when he went to see Karen, he asked her, well, how do you feel about Charisse being here? And she said, well, I felt like she should have been here because Lord knows you all put her everywhere that you could. Which is true. They did. They just stuck Charisse everywhere that she could fit within the storyline. So he visited all of the women. I'm not going to go through everything that he said to each one of them, but he did go by and he visited each one of them. I think the thing that was kind of most interesting for me was when he visited Karen, as well as when he visited the blue-eyed bandits, the green-eyed bandits. He went to go visit Robin and Giselle in their room. They shared a dressing room. And he asked Robin, he said, is Juan going to come tonight? And she said, no, he has to work. And Andy was like, figures. And if looks could kill y'all. Robin was looking at the back of Andy's head like, yeah, she was thinking some things, okay? So let's get into the seating chart. So I posted today on my community wall the picture of the seating chart. And I'm going to look a little bit over here because I have a cheat sheet. I have my community wall pulled up so I can tell you who was sitting by who. So we have Mia on the far end, Robin, Candace, and Karen. Andy in the middle, Giselle, Ashley, and Wendy. And I will post a clip of this right here in this video so you all can take a look at it. So the seating chart was interesting, and most of the housewives, they were trying to figure out, well, how are we seated like this? They couldn't figure it out either. So Andy was letting them know that he wasn't the one that had the total voice in deciding where they were going to sit. The other producers also had a say. So everyone was really confused by the seating chart. Ashley has moved into her new home, and there's really no flow, guys, in terms of how I'm going to lay this out. I did try and keep it along the same flow of the reunion, but there may be times where it doesn't flow, but just hang in there with me. So Ashley has moved into her new home that values well over $2 million. Ashley, she made us aware that the prenup and the divorce, it didn't end in her favor. Now, she does have a clause within the legal jargon that they have with their prenup that if she needs some type of spousal support, then he will give it to her. I don't know, of course, the ins and outs of that because she didn't share, but she did let us know that it didn't end in her favor. So Ashley, she was happy to make sure to let us know that Michael is going to be helping her to pay her mortgage. She can't pay $13,000 a month by herself, in which I mean, a lot of people can, especially she has 2 kids. One of the viewers had sent in a message and asked, did Ashley divorce Michael just because the prenup had ran out? I bet she did, but she said that's not the case. She wanted him to be able to live his best life, and that's the reason why she was just deciding, you know what, I want out of this marriage. So now it was interesting to find out that Michael still has a key to the house. And it's because that house is in their LLC and they have their children. She wants him to be able to come help care for the children whenever. And, you know, Andy was just saying, if my ex had a key to my house, I don't know how I would like that. And I can honestly say I agree. I had to just, you know, take a pause and put myself in her shoes just to think, how would I feel if my ex had a key to my house? No, that's not smart, but that's what she did. So she does have child support that will be able to support her and children. So out of the divorce, she did secure the house. So that's a plus. She has a house that values over, I'm sure, $2.5 million. She has a safety net that's written into the clause. So she has some money that's backing her. So Andy, he was messy, guys. Andy asked Ashley, how did she feel this season, considering she really berated Candace as she was the least accomplished on the show? Well, you know, Ashley had to backpedal and, you know, pop backwards on that one because she had really made Candace feel less than, only to find out that this season, she's the one that really is not that accomplished. So Andy asked her, how did she feel? She apologized, so that was very nice. But Candace felt like she had maligned her for 4 seasons. You know how Candace is. Candace can come up with some words. Candace is a wordsmith, just like Kenya Moore on the Atlanta Housewives. So Candace, she gut punched her by telling her, you better hope your children have generational wealth just like I had. And then Ashley goes, oh, my children, they're going to have a house by the time they're 30. Okay, Ashley, I'm sure they will. It was just how, you know, Candace, she like said what she had to say and turned her head gracefully. And Ashley still up, you know, how she barks like a chihuahua. But anyway, I do like all the ladies on the cast. So regardless of how I may say she barked like a chihuahua, I like them all. And Giselle and Wendy, they're part of my sorority. So, you know, I'm just saying. Those are my girls too, but I like Candace too because Candace is feisty. Okay, so I like all the ladies on the cast, but you know, of course, I have my favorites too. So then we get right into Mia's health. Mia is cancer free. You know, prayers do come true. So she ended up having a large lymph node, and she had a lump on her butt. I guess they're still testing the lump on her butt. Don't quote me on that. Check it out. Just reach out to Mia. Look on her social media pages if you really want to follow her health, you know, what's going on with her health. So she's let us know that she had to have a chest x-ray to make sure that, you know, there was no lumps that had spread to her, you know, her chest or any other parts of her body. So she's good in those terms. Andy asked Wendy, how did she feel being caught on a hot mic? And Wendy was just like, you know, trying to play it off like it was nothing. And Mia asked her, why didn't you say to my face that you didn't believe that I had cancer? And Mia was just trying to Wendy was trying to let her know, you know, well, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, although I didn't believe you, but I was trying to save face in front of the other ladies to show that I back you, which Wendy did. She was the only one that was really going for Mia and pulling for her when the other ladies were just like, she don't have cancer. What did Giselle say? Is this what cancer, no cancer looks like? So that made Mia mad. Mia was just saying, you know, she was telling her that you should be a snake. She said, well, why smile in my face and then be a snake behind my back? And Wendy wasn't having that. Wendy told her, she said, there's a difference between seeing a dermatologist and a oncologist. Okay. What could Mia say after that? Nothing. She couldn't say a word. So then they talked about Mia's finances. So Andy was asking Mia if she was the CEO of her companies, because, you know, Mia always tell us she make $400,000 a month. She's making all this money and now she makes nothing. Okay. So she explained that she was taken off the bank account, and so was her husband, Gordon. She said that they had 3 managing board members, and then it turned into 7 operating members. I don't know. I don't know if Mia knows how the business is comprised. I don't know. It was very, very, very confusing. The ladies had a lot of questions about that. Mia couldn't answer it, to the point where she just got upset and decided she wasn't answering any more questions about that, because she felt like everyone was making fun of her. She did explain that although they had to sell several of their properties that was on the East Coast and the West Coast and here and there and everywhere, because no income is coming in. They're living off of their savings. They do still have a stake in the business. So if the business sells, or if the other owners decide to buy them out, they do owe them some money. So they're thinking that that's what they need to do. They need to go ahead and sell the business so they can just get their share of money and go on about their life and possibly start another business, probably start the same business all over again. So Giselle asked Mia if Gordon's brother, I don't know if it's his brother or brothers, which are the other operating members of this business, if they were thinking that Mia and her husband were embezzling the money. I said it. That's what she said. So, you know, Mia was just like, no. And she was saying, Giselle said, well, you know, that's what it looked like. You know, the business, you all were using the money in the business account to live this lavish lifestyle, as well as to renovate your home and to travel all over the world, allegedly. So the other members, they just cut them off. They removed their names from the bank account. Mia said that she would have never brought this business to TV if she was going to be embezzling money and things like that. And then Wendy said, well, Housewives 101, this is Housewives 101 is what she said. And Giselle was saying, well, you know, she thinks she's smart because she brought it to the forefront, considering they knew what they were doing. They knew that at some point something might hit the fan. So they just, you know how they say, spill your own tea. They were spilling their own tea. So they're living off their savings. They're renting another house. They are no longer living in Potomac. They can't afford it because they don't have any income coming in. So moving right along, and I know I am speeding through, but we have been chatting for a bit, and I don't want to keep you all too long. I want to just get through this. Post your questions, and I'll answer them, and then we'll be on to the next review. So Andy asked Giselle, how does she feel about Mia's public display of life? Because if you look at her social media page, Mia displays a lot of stuff. And Giselle said she thought it was strange, but now she thinks it makes sense. Giselle is sticking with how she feels that Mia is just putting it out there, you know, just to put it out there now in case it comes out and hits the fan. It's already out there. So now then they go to a break, and this was an interesting break, y'all. So Giselle leans over to Andy, and she asked Andy, you know, have you ever swim in a lady pond? Yes, she did, ask our boss that. And Andy told her, he was like, no, I've never swum in the lady pond, but I'm 54 and I'm very interested. Giselle tells him, what's up? If you haven't swum in a lady pond by the time you're 60, I got you. And Andy's like, oh no, that's an HR issue. We're not doing that. And then she laughs it off, guys. She was serious. She was trying to secure that spot, okay? So then she goes into, once the break ends, Giselle talks about Chris sliding into her DMs 15 minutes after the end of taping for the season. Candace was very upset because she felt like Giselle should have not brought up the situation with how she felt about Chris and everything when the cameras were rolling. She felt like there had been many opportunities before the cameras were rolling for Giselle to bring it up. She felt like Giselle did this only to get a check. She feels that, well, judging from how her body language was displayed, I feel that Candace knew that Giselle did feel kind of uncomfortable with Chris being in the room with her by himself, because she had told Robin about the situation. And normally, of course, you know, whenever something happens out there, the police always want to talk to your best friend. Did you tell anyone that this happened to you 20 years ago? Yes, I told my best friend. She had told Robin about it. And Candace admitted that Robin had told her that Giselle did feel funny about Chris being there by himself because she thought that her glam squad was going to be in the room. But, you know, I gotta say, when they arrived to the room, when she determined her glam squad was not there and she knew she was going to feel comfortable talking to Chris, she should have politely asked him to leave the room. Or she should have said, you know what, let's go back down to the bar and get a drink. I'm sure Chris would have went because he was already drunk, as she said. So one more drink wasn't going to hurt. She didn't do that. She sat there and talked to him. And as Candace said, she felt like, you know, she was gaslighting and added extra rooted to a disgruntled situation. You know, like I said, Candace, she is the wordsmith. She's good. So Candace is still very, very upset. So Giselle, she did offer to... Well, she didn't just offer to apologize. She did apologize to Candace, and she told Candace that she would apologize to Chris because she had used some terms that made it seem like Chris had done more than just talk to her. So she did apologize for that. So Candace shared that she has 6 embryos on ice. So that was wonderful news. And she let us know that that would give them 6 opportunities to potentially have a child. So she's very excited. Let's see. She had talked about, Candace was upset about the accusation where Giselle accused Chris of being a, I don't even know what that word is. Michael. Okay, not all the housewives matter. Giselle's a snake. Okay. So to sum things up, that was pretty much it. That was just episode 1. So episode 1, I thought was very good. As I stated to you before, I loved it. I was on the edge of my seat. I was just like, ooh. Andy was just coming with it. He really brought it this time. He making his coins, that's for sure. So I can't wait to see what they throw at us for episode number 2, which hopefully will come out this Sunday. I know sometimes when it's time for episode number 3, they will show us clips that we've never seen. And they did mention, that there are going to be clips. They are going to share clips of Robin when she interviewed with Andy. So we'll get to see those clips. I can't wait to see them. So today, as always, I have to thank my sponsor. So my sponsor is Elegance by Darcy. I always have something that's related to AKA, and this video will be no different. Today I'm showcasing these cosmetic bags that you see. All 3 of these bags, if you purchase the cosmetic bags, all 3 bags come with your purchase. Very nice set. I have this set myself. They're a nice size, so you're able to put a lot of items. It has a handle, 2 zippers on the top. That's the back. These are very nice. Nice for traveling if you're going on a trip. Maybe you're going to a regional conference. Maybe you just want to put your makeup in them. I don't know. Whatever you want to do with them. They're priced reasonably. If you want the merch, definitely drop down in the comments. Let me know you're interested in the merch. Or just inbox me. Follow me on all social media platforms. My name is Erica Nicolette on Facebook. I am Erica Nicolette on Instagram, although I'm not a big Instagrammer, but you're welcome to follow me there. Maybe sometimes I might decide to spend some time on Instagram. I don't know. But I thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Kicking It With Me, Erica Nicolette. How did I do for my first review? This was so exciting. I was nervous. I know you could tell, but I'll only get better. I'm going to keep trying to review different shows. I may review my lipstick, just whatever. I don't know. I just want to be able to bring good content to you, to your phones, to your TV screens, and just in your homes, in your car. I know I listen to some of my favorite YouTubers when I go to sleep. So my favorite influencers. All right. Well, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Kicking It With Me, Erica Nicolette. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Be sure to hit the notification bell and turn on those notifications. And as always, thank you for kicking it with me. Bye.